Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading with me. So this is going to be the next 7 days. So let's dive in. Let's see what's going on for you guys. All right, my gorgeous angels. So I'm going to start off with the Moonology deck. Let's see. What does Spirit have for you, please? For Capricorn, what's going on for the next 7 days? What is the energy? What's the messages that you have for Capricorn for the next 7 days? Speak your world into being. Okay, now I was just hearing like a sentence in my head, and it was like, who goes there? So I feel like someone might be entering your life. You might be a bit suspicious about, but I don't think it's bad. Anyway, you have speak your world into being. So it's time to open up. It's time to visualize, time to talk about it, right? But maybe not to others. We don't want that. Because I feel like sometimes when we speak to others about our dreams and goals, we kind of release that dopamine as if we got it already. Then we might not push ourselves to want it, but it's up to you how it resonates with you, and if you've got the willpower to speak about it, and maybe that might make you a bit more accountable. But either way, to yourself, Spirit wants you to start acting and speaking as if something is coming up into your life. When we say speak your world into being, it's almost like, I wonder if you guys might have been speaking it not into being, meaning like if you are wanting abundance and money, then you might be saying, oh, like I'm not good enough, or I'm not successful enough. Or you could be speaking what you feel is logical and your truth, but your truth is also that you're going to have it, right? It is. So start speaking it into existence, start speaking it into being. So it's a really good time to get clear on what you even want. All right, but anyways, let's dive a little bit deeper. Let's see what's going on for Capricorn, please, over the next 7 days. What message do you have? Building blocks. All right, you got deep knowing as well. So this does say here, yes, you already know what you want, all right, or maybe where you're being guided to go. The moon represents your intuition. You already know, you have a deep knowing. It's time to take action on it now. That's the next step that Spirit has for you. The building blocks card is about that, making the right decisions to build your empire. I love this card. It doesn't come out very often. It to me is kind of like the 9 of Pentacles, where you're self-made, working on yourself, making decisions for yourself. You're giving me a very independent, beautiful, strong energy, and I love that. This card says, though, your decisions are important. Whatever you're letting into your world and into your life, it's all part of this tower. So make sure it's stable enough and long-term enough. Okay, so it is about your decision making and making, it makes some sense. Let's dive into your tea leaf, because this will have some extra events or messages that might go on for you during the next 7 days. Then we'll dive into your tarot. So you have be careful, do not take risks. Interesting. Okay, interesting. Because the whole misunderstanding with the claw, I think that kind of related to a decision that maybe you need to make. So do not take risks with misunderstanding. Could very well be that this is a really important time to double check everything and not rush anything, because you're in this very confident, powerful energy with the building blocks card. I love it. Look at how she's posing. She's like, oh, everything in my life is just fitting together, which it is. All right, lots of opportunities and things coming your way. So life is definitely going fast for you guys. But because of this misunderstanding, you might let something slip. Not in terms of speaking, right? I don't mean it like that. You might not overconfidence, but maybe it is for someone. I have to say that. It's not a bad thing, but it's like don't it's almost like you might be too busy. I just don't want to offend anyone, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to offend anyone. It's almost an energy just to look out for. I'm not offending anybody. Just to look out for it, that, you might be too busy, like, oh, look at what I'm doing, and oh, everything's happening great. And then you might let slip a responsibility that you forgot was coming through. It's almost like that energy of overconfidence. It's great to be confident about what you're doing, and you are within your right to do that. And I want you to do that. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that don't forget about what you're doing. Okay, don't get too busy with that you forget what you're doing. It's almost like keep your eyes on the prize. Keep the ball rolling, right? Keep on top of things. Don't cut corners. Don't think it's gonna be fine if you are out of the zone. I want you to be in the zone is what I'm seeing here. Okay, because it could be a person, right, trying to mislead you in some way, or maybe The facts and figures are not fully aligned during this week, so just be aware of any risks. I feel like you can still make great decisions, but I would say not to take any risks right now because it doesn't feel like the right time for it. You have man, victory, and news. So this man could be the one giving you some sort of news here. Victory in some endeavor, news is on its way. The man could be you, could be someone else coming in to give you some really good news. And then Carrot says opportunity or windfall coming up. So great, amazing things. Just be aware of any risk taking because it does feel like there's a bit of a misunderstanding there. You know, you could get some news and that could cause you to act out in a certain way, and then it's like, oh, sorry, we sent you the wrong email. You actually did get through. And it's like, oh, crap, like I've just messed this up because I thought I didn't. You know, it's that kind of thing. Don't react on information this week because something might not be fully correct, okay? That's all I have to say. A bit random, but hey, that's for someone out there. Anyway, let's move forward. Let's see. What is the overall energy of the next 7 days for Capricorn? Okay. 10 of Wands. You are a bit exhausted here. Good news is you're coming to the end of a difficult journey. 10 of Wands is a bit of like burnout though, so it's really important that you take a rest. The Lovers coming through in the 10 of Wands is an interesting one. The Lovers, of course, can be about relationships. I'm going to dive a bit deeper into that. It can also be about your choices. And some of you might need to may have spread yourself too thin, and the Lovers could be, it might be a really good time to understand what, you know, maybe it's time to make choices to let go of certain things that might not be quite good for you, or too heavy or too one-sided, for example. And that doesn't have to just be to do with love. It could be in any area. It could be business, career. Let's clarify though. Let's clarify. Why is the 10 of Wands the energy of the next 7 days? Okay, got 2 Knights coming through. So you have a Knight of Pentacles, which is about progress. You're making progress. Knight of Cups is also about your feelings and emotions. There's a lot going on. I feel like you have 2 people coming away. The Knight of Swords, okay, maybe we don't want that. Why do I feel like some of you have 2 past people coming into your world? It doesn't have to be that, but I just feel like whatever this is, almost, it looks like she's running away because she's like being reminded of something she doesn't want to look at. I don't want to look at that right now. What is that about? Nine of Swords, fears, worries, tense situations. What is a fear? The Four of Swords is about healing something. What is your fear? What is the fear? What is the fear? Six of Cups. I told you it was a past. It's nostalgia. Something's reminding you of something of the past and you're running away from it. Now the stars does represent healing, so it is a good time to heal. The people that are coming in, I'm not getting anything bad. One has their heart on their sleeve, very happy to see you, to talk to you. The Knight of Pentacles, these could be old friends, whoever it is. I feel like though you don't want to address whatever this is. 10 of Wands. It is a good time to complete these cycles, right? Even if you don't want them in your life, it is coming up for you to heal them, right? So you can go, okay, I can let that go now. Interesting. And the Knight of Pentacles, Five of Cups. So that was something that was disappointing here. It could be again in terms of career. And the Knight of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. Okay, let me just tap into this for a second. I feel like someone wants to come in and actually be with you or work with you, and the other person just wants to address something from the past, that things were a bit disappointing. They want to clear that up, fix their mess a little bit, but not really exactly wanting to come in. This is very interesting. Right, now, for a lot of you, that's not going to be your message, but I had to say that for someone out there. The Lovers, again, can be about choices. Now, you don't have to make a choice between these two people if you don't want to. You can just move forward. But let's see, why is the Lovers here as the energy of the next, 7 days? Nine of Wands, wounded warrior, afraid to let your guard down. Ace of Swords, truth, clarity, communication, especially from situations that have been a bit hidden from you. So what's really interesting here is I feel like these messages are a little bit outside of your material world and well-being, and maybe that's why this is a little bit complicated to deal with. if I'm going to try and relate it to your building blocks and what you're building, 10 of Wands, again, don't spread yourself too thin. Don't take on too much that you can't handle. Because like I said, you might be too busy thinking, look at all these things I can carry, and you end up dropping them and losing your balance, like I said. So it's not about flexing what you can do. It's about actually staying on top of things and not overburdening yourself, because what you don't want to do is get started on something and then end up, needing to take a time out, getting a bit sick, right, catching a cold because you're overworking yourself. So it's really important that we're being aware of that, okay? And the Lovers, your choices are important. They're more important than you think. So accepting certain loads on your shoulders is very important. Okay, 9 of Wands, Ace of Swords with the Lovers. Of course, it could be about making sure that you make clear choices. 9 of Wands is a wounded warrior. Feeling like afraid to let your guard down. Feeling like you need to protect yourself. 9 of Wands, Lovers. Emperor. That's a masculine energy coming through here. That could be you trying to control a situation. Ace of Swords, though, what's the clarity? 5 of Cups. King of Swords. Okay, so 2 of Swords being here as well, there could definitely be a decision that you guys need to make here. Probably about maybe you're facing some sort of disappointment or needing to let your guard down in a situation so that you can let go of some things or to move forward with some things, right? Let go of responsibility. The Emperor can sometimes be a bit about ego. So I do feel like you might have to not start fresh a little bit here. But I feel like with the Ace of Swords, you might be coming to a realization during the next 7 days that maybe is a bit disappointing or a little bit worrying. Like, oh, I didn't realize that that's what I was accepting. Or, it's a little bit of that misunderstanding. So I feel like that's why they're saying make strategic, logical choices. 9 of Wands, Emperor. 7 of Cups, a little bit about woo-woo with the fairies, away with the fairies a little bit here. The good news is this is coming up with the speak your world into being. So sometimes it's okay to be a bit delulu, right? When it comes down to your dreams and goals, anything is possible as long as you're willing to take action towards it. So the 9 of Wands and the Emperor, speak your world into being. 7 of Cups. Maybe the way that you think you're going to get there is what's different. Okay, right. The readings for the earth signs have been so confusing to me. Either way, Lovers and 10 of Wands, your decisions are very important during this week. Okay, so don't take risks if you're not ready for them. Don't overwork yourself. Okay, very important. But you do have a lot of success coming up, so I'm not too worried about what's going on. Remember the 5 of Cups, whatever disappointment you're facing is not the end of the world. All right, there's always a silver lining and there's always a chance to rebuild. I feel like you just might accept or let something slip. That's what it keeps feeling like. And it's like, oh no, but it's like, don't worry. Don't worry, you can fix it. Okay, what is the energy of Capricorn? 8 of Cups, walking away from things that just don't serve you, right? Feelings, people, situations. It could be a big part of this release energy. Why is the 8 of Cups in the energy of Capricorn? The Wheel of Fortune is great, right? Your seasons are changing and it does look like the sun is starting to shine, which is very good. This is very auspicious, very lucky. The Wheel and the Sun are both incredible cards of expansion and growth. So whatever you're deciding to leave behind or let go of actually feels very good, especially if it's not fulfilling enough for you emotionally, right? You got to enjoy what you do. You got to enjoy what you're building. And maybe you're realizing that like, oh, like, I feel like you're building something and then you're realizing maybe you're building it in a way that you want other people to perceive it and not exactly one that's fulfilling for you to build. Does that make sense? Either way, whatever you're acknowledging, you are going to be changing your seasons to more good and more happy. Okay, what exactly is it that you're walking away from? Knight of Wands. It looks like you're going to be traveling in some way. Okay. The Fool, so you're starting a new beginning, and it could be in terms of your work life, okay, or what you're building on, or your skills, your talents, your abilities. maybe a way of making money, right? This is all changing. Another card of expansion, adventure and fun, passions. The Fool is this new journey, a leap of faith in some way. And the Eight of Pentacles is you doing the active work, which will pay off for you. So a lot of money coming your way. And enjoying what you're doing, right? Building and your skills over something. Okay, what is the challenge for Capricorn during this next 7 days? The Five of Cups, right? That's the disappointment that we saw. Being a little bit overly upset about something, right? It is a card that says, like, don't go crying over spilled milk, right? Whatever is not in your life, whatever thing that is a misunderstanding here, it's okay. You do still have 2 cups left, and there's an abundance of whatever you feel like you've lost out there in the world, so you can just fill those cups back up again. Okay, that's what I feel like here. Why is the Five of Cups a challenge? Hangman, looking at it through a different perspective is important for you. Maybe some sort of loss or disappointment can actually be your biggest win if you look at it differently, right? The Hanged Man is like feeling your hands tied behind your back, not able to change something that may have been disappointing. They're asking you to reflect on it, to really look at it, process it, because there is a really beautiful sign that something new can come from this. This could be the opportunity or the windfall. The Knight of Swords reverse. Don't act brash. Is that a saying? Don't act too quickly, right? Like we said, maybe you feel like you made an error and your quick way is to quickly clean it up and get rid of it. But I don't want you to do that. I want you to sit with whatever this disappointment is, because I do feel like with time, something turns into something better. Whereas the Knight of Swords could be a risk. Like I said, a bit of a misunderstanding, a panic. You're doing so well, you're doing great, and then all of a sudden something slips. It's like, oh my God, what just happened? And feeling like your luck is gone or whatever. It's almost like a little bit of dwelling. Don't do that. Your challenge is not act, is to respond, to really sit with something long enough to really get true clarity over it, and not to act on panic, right? Okay, what's the advice that you have for Capricorn? Emperor. Remember that you're building an empire. We see that with the building blocks, right? You are in control at all times. You can also control where you want to go, right? Speak your world into being. The Emperor. It's about taking action, being disciplined, and thinking not just about, again, short-term decisions. It's all about your empire that you're building, long-term decisions. Why is the Emperor the advice over the next 7 days for Capricorn? King of Cups and a Ten of Cups. So this looks really nice. I mean, for some of you, if you are in a relationship, this looks very beautiful. Or maybe you're moving towards a relationship with someone that looks very beautiful, just because Ten of Cups and King of Cups can be about really beautiful connection, long-term connection. But what I'm seeing here with the Emperor, the King of Cups, is again about leading with your heart, leading with what you feel be the best. Like we said earlier, you're walking away from things that just don't serve you, that are just too overburdening for you, right? So that you can actually be happy with what you're building. Leading with your heart. That's your advice. Maybe it's also about family too, for some who can relate to that, right? And the Three of Pentacles, like building the right foundation. And that Eight of Cups is here again, and the Sun and the Five of Swords. So it does feel like, in a way, you are walking away from something, and that could feel a bit like a defeat in itself, a bit of like an ego death maybe in a certain way, but the Sun is leading you towards happiness. The Three of Pentacles, working on something, building a new foundation on something new. I wonder if it's like, it just feels like it's where your attention's going, is changing, or what the foundation that you're building on, you might be going back to the basics again and rebuilding it in a happier way. Okay. Now, what an interesting reading. As I said, the earth signs are giving me a hard time for some reason this week. But if it did make sense to you, then please let me know in the comment section. I'd love to know how it fits in your story. And if you enjoy, make sure you guys like and subscribe. But aside from all that, I will see you guys next time.